Hey everyone, welcome back to the Email Ignition podcast by warmy.io, where we keep your emails warm and your growth strategy even warmer. I'm Lucas Tonic, and today's lineup is, let's say, spicy. NVIDIA hits 5 trillion. What really drove the rocket ship, and is it just AI hype? LLM traffic whiplash, up big, then down 42% since July. What should founders and marketers actually do in the GEO era? OpenAI and Amazon $38 billion deal. Cloud, chips, and a fresh lane for OpenAI's tool roadmap. And for last but not least, Sam Altman's outburst. Why the money questions stink? What OpenAI's plan could look like, and how it ties back to everything we've been forecasting on this show. You ready? So buckle up and let's hit the feed. Let's start with the headline that broke a scrolling thumb. NVIDIA closed at $5 trillion valuation. According to Statista's Felix Richter, this run didn't just outrun big tech, it lapped it. The comparison set is so wild, it sounds like a boardroom icebreaker. Picture this, NVIDIA now is worth more than Alphabet plus Meta combined, and more than Amazon plus Walmart plus Costco together. That's not a victory lap, that's a planetary alignment. Alright, but how did we get here? Well, here are 3 pillars that explain it. First, the pickaxes and the gold rush. In every paradigm shift, someone sells picks and shovels. NVIDIA owns the moment with data center GPUs that power training and inference, from frontier LLMs to multimodal models and agentic systems. The demand curve isn't just AI is cool, it's that enterprises, labs, and platforms all need silicon that can go massive parallel workloads without melting. Secondly, we got the platform play, not just chips. The moat is more than hardware. It's CUDA, libraries, SDKs, networking, like NVLink and NVSwitch, and the tight coupling of silicon plus software that makes competitors play catch-up on 2 fronts at once. That integrated stack keeps developers and budgets locked in. And third, we got the demand side, from labs to boardrooms. The customer isn't just an AI startup anymore. It's cloud hyperscalers, Fortune 500s, sovereigns, and every category where we need AI capability yesterday is the brief. Demand signals are broad, sticky, and urgent. Is it only hype? Skeptics say the chart looks .com-ish. Bulls say the time is compounding for a decade. Here's the only fair summary. Hardware cycles are cyclical. Platform shifts are not. If the platform shift holds, NVIDIA remains central. If CapEx digestion hits, and it will in waves, the question is, where is software revenue, networking, and recurring platform economics cushion those cycles? So here's one quote to ground this chapter. Statista notes, quote, NVIDIA officially became the first company to close at a valuation of $5 trillion, after a share price that skyrocketed more than 1,300% since January 2023, end of quote. And now here's what matters for you. If you're building AI-native products, plan capacity around inference cost curves. Model selection and installation will matter as much as UX. If you're marketing to enterprises, the AI budget is shifting from experiments to stack choices, chips, clouds, and tooling. Anchor your product as a must-have layer in that stack. If you're a CFO or CMO tech team, model scenarios where GPU scarcity eases and where AI unit economics tighten, because narrative alone won't justify 2026 plans. Next, traffic volatility in the age of AI answer. The numbers paint a clear arc. LLM referral traffic grew 65% in 2025, but it declined 42.6% since July of the same year. Monthly growth cooled from 25.1% on 2024 to 10.4% in November 2025 this month. The launch of ChatGPT 5 on August 7 coincides with versions less inclined to include outbound citations. Great for UX, rough for publishers. We're currently operating in a zero-click environment. In 2025, 60% of global Google searches result in no clicks. In Brazil, South America's largest country, 77.6% of searches in AI mode generated no clicks. This is the GAO, Generative Engine Optimization moment. It doesn't replace SEO, it reframes it. In LLM surfaces, the prize is being named and framed in a synthesized answer, not just being clicked. One quote to ground this chapter is, investing in Generative Engine Optimization (GAO) is urgent. So optimize for visibility inside model outputs, rather than only for downstream clicks that don't matter as they used to matter before. And here's what you can do right now. Just practical, no fluff advice. First, structure for machines. Provide concise, citable chunks. We're talking about key numbers, short authoritative definitions, with schema and consistent terminology. Number 2 is answer the exact question. Build pages and scripts that mirror conversational prompts and user intents. Think LLM-ready paragraphs. Number 3 is on provenance. Publish primary data, methodologies, and updatable stats. LLMs privilege sources with clear provenance. Number 4 is diversify discovery. Shorts, podcasts like this one, newsletters. Reduce reliance on a single referrer. Instead, treat LLMs as one of your top-of-funnel services. And number 5, measure beyond clicks. Track citation presence, brand mentions in answers, and assisted conversions. GEO is about influence density, not just CTR. So if you're waiting for the old web to come back, you missed a window where brands become default references inside AI itself. Do not let it pass, trust me. Now to the power play. OpenAI and Amazon Web Services signing a $38 billion 7-year partnership. Now here's the core info on this massive deal. AWS becomes a primary infrastructure provider for OpenAI, unlocking hundreds of thousands of NVIDIA GPUs. Amazon plans deployments with GB200 and GB300 accelerators, engineered for massive AI throughput, fast memory and NVLink bandwidth in staggering quantities. OpenAI's projected computational capacity, we're talking about 30 gigawatts at full scale, market signal. Amazon's share price popped approximately 4% on the news, adding $140 billion in market value. And as a last core info of this massive partnership, we can cite strategy. After all, this deal also signals a big strategic shift for OpenAI. After a recent corporate restructuring that ended Microsoft's exclusive hosting rights, OpenAI is now free to work with multiple cloud providers: Azure, Google Cloud, Oracle, and now AWS. And the following are some of the consequences you can expect to see due to this massive partnership: faster model iteration and wider multimodal coverage, from videos to agents to enterprise retrieval when capacity constraints loosen, lower inference latency for enterprise use cases as specialized clusters come online, new platform features that assume abundant compute, like, for example, deeper context windows and smarter tool use, and more competitive pricing and tiers as supply expands. So if we had to sum up this whole chapter in one quote, it will be AWS will serve as OpenAI's primary infrastructure provider, granting access to the GPU scale needed to train and run their models at the next order of magnitude. Now, if you build on OpenAI's ecosystems, here are some great news for you. You can expect new API capabilities and modalities tied to AWS rollouts and networking improvements. You can also prepare for tiered performance, premium low-latency paths for enterprise, efficient cost-optimized lanes for small businesses. And last but not least, you can revisit your vendor risk. Multi-cloud is not just for hyperscalers, it's your uptime hedge too. And finally, if you're into polemics, this definitely has the potential to be the novelty of the day for you. Sam Altman bristling at questions about OpenAI's revenue versus spend. Now the tension is clear. Enormous infrastructure ambitions, reported losses, and a user base where relatively few pay. It's a classic product-market love, not yet product-market profit. And the exchange that made the rounds involved investor Brad Gessner, resting on revenue versus commitments. Altman disputed the numbers without providing specifics and said revenue is, quote, growing steeply, end of quote. That moment crystallizes an uncomfortable dual truth. OpenAI is both the most culturally powerful AI company and the business is still stitching together its durable cash engine. Here are the likely sources of the money for OpenAI's future: enterprise suites, knowledge, security, compliance, and observability, developer platform economics, API usage at scale. We're talking about tool and functional ecosystems, model adjacent value capture, agents, marketplaces, and proprietary data connectors. And yes, advertising. As we talked before in one of the episodes, AI native ad units, conversational commerce, and sponsored answers. As we explored in our earlier episode, OpenAI is positioning to assemble an AI-powered advertising ecosystem that blends sponsored disclosure with answer level relevant. It's less banner and more briefing with tasteful product placement. And that's why, to sum up this chapter, on revenue, Altman said it is, quote, growing steeply, end quote. So why the flash of frustration? Well, because building general intelligence and an enduring P&L is like renovating the airplane during takeoff. The $38 billion AWS Pact, the diversified cloud bets, the rumored push into ads, these are the tracks being laid for sustainable gross margins while keeping the frontier model race alive. So if you're a founder or marketer, here's the translation. The next 12 to 24 months will bring faster models, lower latency, and more enterprise-grade features, great for product builders. Also, expect pricing and creativity, seat-based, usage-based, priority lanes, and bundles. Bake elasticity into your unit economics. And last but not least, anticipate ad-supported surfaces and consumer-facing AI assistants. Plan GEO plus paid strategies for AI answers the way you plan SEO plus SEM today. 4 stories, 1 thought line. Infrastructure at scale, decide product velocity, and answer services, decide brand visibility. So here are your takeaways. If you market, shift from only clicks to answers plus mentions plus assisted revenue. GEO is a core competency now. If you build, assume compute constraints ease unevenly. Design models, prompts, and product loops that degrade gracefully when capacity pinches. And if you lead, make AI adoption a change management program, not a feature. Your stack is a strategy, not an SKU. And while you're doing all that, make sure your campaigns actually make it to the inbox. Warmy.io keeps your deliverability solid, so your demand gen doesn't die in spam. And there you have it. I'm Lucas Stanek. Thank you so much for listening to the Ignition Podcast. If this helped, share it with your favorite AI engineer, marketer, builder, or entrepreneur who wants to boost their businesses. And subscribe so you never miss a playbook-heavy episode. See you next time.